This was by far the worst financial decision I've ever made on this channel. What's up, guys? It's the first clip of the video, and this is a very, very important video. I can't believe there's 3 digits of episodes now. That's kind of crazy. Speaking of digits, you may have noticed that there's a lot of digits in my purse right now, and you're also probably wondering how I got that many digits. Let me show you real quick. What the fuck? There's gotta be fake. Oh my god. Oh my god. Before we get to that though, I just gotta say, man, I've been doing this shit for 100 episodes. If you are still not subscribed, I don't even know what to say. Listen, man, how am I gonna get 30K? How am I gonna get a code? Have you seen the prices of full body fursuits? Oh, I got a Reaper Pepper. That's nice. Help me out, man. Help me out, please. I need this speed. Come on. But yeah, that's even more money I'll get to spend on high class dice because I have not purchased them yet, which might be the classic blunder. Speaking of purchasing though, okay, so that was the 50th. I'll buy the other 50 later, just because I don't want to jack up the price too quickly. Anyways, let's claim however much our inventory can handle, which is that much. And with that, I think it's time to get started. But if you thought I was just going to be raw dogging these 100 dice, you're dead wrong, because I actually prepared a bunch of questions thanks to you guys. As a few days ago, I asked just to throw me some random questions, and I think it's safe to say you all delivered. That's the first dice. So our first question is a very good one. It's from Slow Wolf, and they ask, I quit Skyblock a year ago. Over the last few months, I realized I've talked to women a lot more, been happier, and felt genuinely accomplished when I did something that isn't leveling up Skyblock. But my question to you is, should I return to Skyblock or pursue my education to have a job that is beneficial to society? Now, some's reply, I have to agree with them, but I will say, and you might find this surprising, but over the last year, I haven't actually been playing the game that much. And I've still found the game to be quite interesting by just logging in and doing the daily tasks every day, specifically doing the experiments and just doing garden pests and all that, visitors too. That's fun. I think if you just spend like 15 to 20 minutes a day playing the game, just doing those tasks alone, that's a pretty enjoyable experience, at least from my perspective. And I will say, there's also a ton of other dailies you can do. I mean, Heart of the Mountain commissions, I can't think of any others, so I'm gonna stop saying them. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do just playing a little bit each day, and I think that's what I would recommend above all else. But also not returning is a pretty good idea. And also, what is going on with this dice, man? Oh my god. I have like 98 left to do. Can we chill out? Okay, you know what? Let's just move on to the next question then. Alright, Renegade 450, are you fucking kidding me? He asks, real life 15 bill gambling video when? I'm just saying, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm never hitting IRL gambling, bro. That is a slippery ass slope, okay? And I know, again, that sounds crazy for me, but I can't, man. When real money's on the line, like, just miss me with that, bro. That is a bad rabbit hole to go down, and I'm not trying to go down it anytime soon. So, probably never. I think at most I could see myself doing maybe like 10-cent poker tournaments or something like that. I don't know, man. Now, this next question comes from Sick Ties, who asks, if you had a button that automatically skipped one grind... Okay. You know what? Sure. That automatically skipped one grind from Skyblock, like getting max powder or EMED 9 instantly. Oh my god. Chill. What would I use it on? I would... I think you guys know the answer. I would use it on class average 50. And I would do that shit in a heartbeat too. I don't think there's anything else that even compares to that kind of grind. I just don't like class average 50. The only... And actually, this is a huge lore drop, or reveal. Stop getting 6s. And I want you guys to write this down. I will not do class average 50 until they make solo dungeons a viable meta. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And you're probably thinking, well, then you're never going to do them. Exactly. Listen, they either do that or it's never happening. It's that simple. That's my one compromise. Now, this next question is actually one... Stop that. Stop it. Now, this next question is actually my favorite. It comes from Hamster, and he asks, what is my favorite content creator that I actually watch? And I have an answer for this, and only one answer. Because there's only one person on YouTube who I regularly watch nowadays, and that is Killdozer TV. Man, I love myself a good Killdozer video. I love his channel. I love everything he does, man. If you guys aren't a Killdozer enthusiast, I don't know what you're doing at this point. His videos are so good to watch while eating. I do it all the time. I do it daily. I rewatch his videos several times, okay? I love his content so much. I had to go on a little bit of a fanboy tangent, okay? I'm sorry. Now, this next question comes from Etty DeBaby Sussy 146. I just know you haven't changed your name in like 5 years. It is a pretty good name. Oh, stop it. But anyways, he asks, what do you do outside of Skyblock? And I'm gonna intentionally misinterpret this question because I assume he's asking, you know, what other games are you playing, you know, what else are you doing in your life? But no. I'm gonna interpret his question as, what am I doing outside of Skyblock, but still in Hypixel? Because I do think there's a lot of good games that people just don't be playing anymore. Number one, Pixel Party. Not in any order, by the way, but Pixel Party is such a good game. It's so fun, but they only get like 50 players. Party games still gets a lot of players, so, you know, that's not that bad. Football, okay, I tried playing football in the arcade. Those people do not fucking play around. Everyone is the next coming of Ronaldo and Messi. But anyways, let's move on to the next game. Build Battle. That's a 6. I played Build Battle a ton, and I mean a ton over the summer. I don't play it that much nowadays, but it's still pretty fun, I'd imagine. They gotta work on the themes, though. Some of the themes are so ass, it's not even funny. Also, Lucky Block Skywars, that's another game. That game is so fun. It's really underrated nowadays, I think. I can't really think of many complaints. I mean, some of it's unbalanced, but I mean, that's just the way it is. Can't really say much more about it. And last but not least, certainly not least, Disasters. Man, I was a day one okay, hold on, stop it. I was a day one Disasters fan. I love Disasters so much. I still play it every now and then, not as much ever since it got ported to the arcade, but it's a very fun game. Probably one of the best arcade games right now. I honestly think it should have been its own standalone game, but I was also kind of stupid to think that would actually happen. But anyways, I'm getting off track. That's a good question, even though I probably misinterpreted it. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this next question comes from Roink, who asks, would you be more likely to survive a night in Philly after their team won? So, I can't pronounce it. Or 6 hours of Vanguard corpses? Guys, who does this guy think I am? No, I'm just kidding. But like, that is a very, very, how do I put this? Oh, so I don't know how to put it, man. Would I rather die or survive is basically what they're asking. I think I would rather survive. But yeah, I can do 6 hours of Vanguard corpses like it's nothing. I mean, I'm pretty conditioned to do that, I think. I am a little rusty, I guess, but again, this is a life or death situation. I'm choosing life. Okay, this next question is more of a threat than a question, but basically it's Ruby. I know that's Ruby. Their name does not look like Ruby because it's not Ruby, but they're asking, show us your pets or no lock it for a year. I mean, I gotta take that. Just kidding. You're only getting my favorite pet, which is my pet cat. They are a tortoiseshell cat. They're also female. Did you know, I've actually said this before, but did you know that most tortoiseshell, and I mean most tortoiseshell cats are female? I think it's only like 4% of tortoiseshell cats that are male. But yeah, tortoiseshell cats, they have an amazing coat. It kind of looks like Toffee, that's why I named her Toffee. But yeah, she's a very, very mean cat. Maybe wondering, why is she my favorite then? I don't know, man. All my other cats, they're boring. Does that mean? But yeah, that's all you're getting for now. Maybe I'll show my other pets in the future. I think I've already shown a lot of them, but anyways, let's move on to the next question. Okay, this one's from Mason, who asks, being the northern line of Skyblock, do you have plans to go bald and start playing daily DLS games? I said that wrong. DLES games while you grind Vanguards. I mean, okay, well, for one, I got a buzz cut last November after having long hair for, I guess 5 years. And I will say, having a buzz cut, it clears, both in terms of looks and just functionality. Having a buzz cut just clears, man. I don't know what else to say. I spend like 5 less minutes in the shower. I don't have to, move my hair out of my eyes every 5 minutes. It's just like, it's so much better. But if I had to go bald, it wouldn't be the end of the world, in my opinion. I think a lot of people can rock being bald, and there's only like a select few who can't. And even if you can't, I mean, just put a hat on or something. I don't know. But in terms of being the northern line of Skyblock, I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad life. Northern Line, he sounds like a pretty cool guy. I have not watched many of his stuff, but when I see him on my Twitter, like, homepage, it's always a good clip. So you know what? I can get behind that. Good question. Let me go get the next one. All right, this next question comes from Zero Leafs. It's a pretty interesting question, I'd say. He asks, who's the GOAT content creator of Skyblock and why? I mean, I feel like objectively speaking, it is Technoblade. Let's be real. Pushing personal favorites aside, I mean, that man was the heart and soul of this game. That man is really why it's as popular as it is today. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. So I think from that perspective, he's the GOAT. Not to mention his videos obviously were amazing. Now, if we're talking like GOAT active content creator, you could go a lot of routes, I think. I don't know, man. Now, if we change the question a little bit and we start talking about the GOAT of Skyblock streams, listen, man, my personal favorite will always be Briefing. You just had to be there. He doesn't stream anymore, but Briefing is probably the reason I'm still playing this game. His streams were so chill. I think one of my favorite things that he did is he would never react to any of his RNG drops specifically because, and this is going off my memory, but this is roughly what he said. He didn't want people to know that he got an RNG drop if they weren't tabbed into his stream. I don't know why, I just find that to be a really funny detail. But yeah, love Briefing, and yeah, I don't think anyone else really comes close, in my personal opinion. Solid question, though. Alright, this next question comes from Lume, who asks, do you believe Skyblock is moving in the right direction with their updates and has a chance of a renaissance, or are there still too many problems with it to be enjoyable as it could be? I mean, I think a renaissance, it really just depends on how you define renaissance, because I don't think it's ever going to return to the numbers that we saw in like 2020 and 2021, but I do think it could return to maybe 2022, 2023 numbers, because those were still very good numbers, even when it had a very poor update schedule. I've been trying not to talk about the dice, but oh my god, these dice are kind of going crazy right now. But as for the direction, I do think they're moving in the right direction. Now, if you asked me to elaborate on that, I would not be able to do so. Okay, you know what? Actually, let me try to elaborate. I do think, obviously, moving to 1.21 was the right move. I think the righter move would have been doing it much, much sooner, but, you know, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes in, you know, the Hypixel studio. Anyways, now that they've done it, now they can start working on 1.21 updates. I think this is really where the potential begins to shine. And I just hope that they can, you know, capitalize on it and we can start seeing what we've been waiting for so long, because I don't think we really got what we were looking for out of Galatea, and that's fine. But we need to start seeing it in these 1.21 updates, and I know they can do it. We just need to see it happen. Lotus Atoll, I'm looking at you, man. Guardian Slayer, I don't even know if that's gonna... Yeah, I mean, of course that's gonna be 1.21, right? So, you know, we'll see. It's really just seeing. Also, it's been a lot of dice, and I still have not seen a single 7. I'm gonna need to see a single 7. At least one, please. But yeah, that's a very good question. And yeah, in summary, yes, I do think they're moving in the right direction, and I do think they have a chance of returning to the numbers that they saw back around 2022, 2023. But unless an established creator like Jinxie per se comes to the game, I don't think we're ever gonna see those kind of numbers like we saw during quarantine. Alright, this next question comes from It's Me Simon. He asks, when are you gonna go pro in badminton? As some of you may know, I do have my little channel thingy saying that I am a future badminton pro, but it's time to come clean, guys. Now, if you didn't know, badminton is not really that popular in the US. Badminton is more so... What the fuck? Countries like China usually dominate the sport. Okay. And as a result, trying to train and trying to find places to actually, you know, play badminton with other people, it's not that easy. I think I looked it up. There is not really any badminton related thing near me for like an hour. So if I wanted to actually start training incredibly seriously and, you know, take this thing seriously, it would probably require a lot of gas. Like a lot. And listen, have you seen the gas prices or something? I don't know. It's not really realistic for me right now. And actually right now, I'm not even training because I can only train during the warmer months. And you may be thinking, why is that? My setup's outside. I play badminton outside. So not only is wind an issue, but, you know, the weather also tends to be an issue. So, it's very complicated right now. I'm still trying, obviously. I'm gonna start back up quite soon, but I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to move to China. So that's my answer. In a similar vein, extra_itch asks, do you go to the gym? Now, when it comes to conditioning for badminton, it's... Okay, well, I don't actually know. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass. But if you look at professional badminton players, you'll notice they're not like, you know, they're not hunks of muscle, right? They're much more nimble. They're much more agile because that's what badminton involves. You know, you're not really running over people like you would in football, American football. Now, with that excuse out of the way, I will say I don't really weightlift that much. But I am considered by many to be a Peloton paladin. And what I mean by that is I am on that thing pretty fucking often, I will say. I do like the Peloton, because you can always, I mean, you can listen to anything when you're exercising, but I think cardio in particular is, it's just nice to listen to things, because you're not really, there's never any moments of rest. Unless you're a wimp. I don't know. Anyways, this is the last Archfiend dice that I have on hand right now, aka number 50 or 49? I don't know. 50. Yeah, 50. Okay, it's gone. So that's the first half. And maintenance starts in 30 minutes. Did I mention that? Did I mention that I'm doing this with 30 minutes to go until maintenance starts for the new hub? I really haven't thought this thing through, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I've been waiting for 25 minutes for the maintenance to kick me out, but it's just not doing it. So you know what? I'm gonna kick myself out. Let's just move to the fucking Osu intermission. That's a good score. Okay, it's not that good. Almost 300, though. All right, welcome back from the intermission. Maintenance is over, and there's a ton of new stuff, but we're not doing that in this video. What we are doing, though, is buying the last 50 dice. And the last dice, thankfully, I'm already in possession of. Thanks to Mogus. Everybody say thank you, Mogus.
Thanks, Mogus.
And as we can see, there's the other 49, so I hope I never have to pay 40 mil per dice ever again. But anyways, it's time to get back to answering some questions and obviously rolling the dice. Alright, our first question back comes from Morg SKP, who asks, how have you been able to keep living life normally after Clavicular got brutally frame-mogged? Honestly, I have had trouble sleeping at night. It's just really sad, man. You hate to see it happen. Get this out of my inventory. All right, next question. This one comes from Shauna Sim, who asks, my civil question is, if you were designing a bridge or major piece of infrastructure today, how do you account for a climate 50 years from now that no historical data can accurately predict? And at what point does over-engineering for an uncertain future become economically and ethically irresponsible? So the first thing I'm going to do is not design a bridge. I'm going to design a time machine, and then I'm going to go back in time, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in a way, gaslight the people into thinking that these norms are not actually the norms, and the over-engineering of today will just become the engineering of the future. So once I go back to the present, I can over-engineer all I want. So my over-engineering to them is not even economically and ethically irresponsible. Now, with the economic and ethical irresponsibility out of the way, now we can actually design this bridge. And what I would do is I would use the most reflective and conductive materials available to me in that time. Now, keep in mind, I had actually already gone back in time and also convinced the people that such a conductive and reflective material to use as a bridge is actually quite reasonable. So to them, this is just another bridge, but it's going to be a great bridge because you can cook many things on this bridge, probably including buildings and people, but that's not really what we're looking after. We're actually looking to answer the age-old question, can you cook an egg on a pan without using a stove? And the answer will be yes, once this bridge is constructed. Great question. Our next question comes from Linus Stomberger, who asks, Anthony Davis to the Sixers for literally nothing. Literally nothing. Take it or leave it. I mean, I'm taking that in an instant. I'm just saying. Will he only be healthy for like 15 of the 82 games? Maybe. But those are going to be some good 15 games. And again, for nothing, yeah, I'm taking it. I like this next question. This one comes from Technoblade, who asks, how did you come up with the name Skyblock Sillies? So I didn't want to just, copy the other series name of a very popular content creator who I'm sure you've heard of, whose name starts with a C and ends in a now is bad, right? I mean, Joey Lamau did that, but it makes sense, right? Because he, was already in a lot of his videos. But I just wanted to have some kind of alliteration. But there's not really much you can work with Skyblock. Nothing in my mind, at least. And eventually my mind gravitated to Sillies just because, again, there's not really much else to work with. I'm kind of grasping at straws. But, it kind of works. A lot of this, I would say, is quite silly. Also, just a little dice update. I'm down to 170 mil in my purse. We still have like 40 dice to go, and I still haven't found a single 7. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm scared. We're gonna have to dip into the reserves real soon, and I don't even know if my reserves are gonna be able to cover this. So, this is not good. This is really bad. But in the face of adversity, we shall prevail. Whether or not that means spending billions more than I originally anticipated or not. Okay, it doesn't look like it's gonna be or not. That's another roll. Okay, I'm gonna sound like a madman, but I gotta sell off my skeleton keys for now. If this video serves as anything, it's a reminder to not do high-class dice. Do Vanguards, do any other means of gambling that remains in this game, but not dice. Not dice, please. This next one comes from Vapid Was Taken. Do you ever plan on playing... Oh, now you want to get a 6. Do you ever plan on playing other games on this channel besides Hypixel Skyblock? If so, what game, what type of games would you want to play? No, I do not plan on it. Maybe I'll make another channel. And I already have another channel that most people aren't aware of, but I'll probably make another channel on top of that. And maybe one day I'll use it for other games, but I cannot see myself doing that on this channel simply because that's not what people are here for, and I understand that, and I think that's, you know, perfectly valid, right? Most of my viewers are probably in the range of like 12 to 14 years of age, and they don't give a shit about anything else besides Hypixel Skyblock, at least when it comes to people who, you know, predominantly do Skyblock content. But yeah, I mean, nothing's set in stone. Maybe that's subject to change. I don't know. We'll see. This next question comes from Yob Floor, who asks, what form of gambling would you want to get added to Skyblock? Now, this is tricky because I could say, you know, Baccarat, or I could say Blackjack, but they can't explicitly just add those things because I think it would be against EULA. So I think, honestly, anything related to that, or anything that mimics those mechanics that you would find in Blackjack and those mechanics that you would find in Baccarat, I would be down for that. That would be pretty cool. Like, obviously slot machines too, but like, how are you even gonna do that? I don't even know. I think there's a lot of potential, but again, who knows how they'd add it.
I don't know how to seamlessly transition into this next clip, so I'm just gonna need you to read the text that's currently on screen. Alright, thank you.
Okay, thanks to Fugi's benevolence, he has agreed to give me 2 billion coins, but he doesn't know what they're for. I managed to convince him without actually telling him what they're for, so he'll see it tomorrow. Maybe. Okay, so, this is my Astrea that I'm giving temporarily to Fugi, along with 8 epic Ender Dragon pets. I think that's a fair amount of collat. I don't know, but me personally, I think it is. So yeah, now we have 2 billion coins to burn on rolling dice, and he doesn't know that. He thinks, I don't know, he probably thinks I'm like spending it on something useful like Skyblock XP, but no, we don't do that around these parts. Fugi also doesn't know is that he actually plays quite a large role in the remainder of this video, and I'll explain how in just a second. So I currently have 38 dice left, and what I'll do is I'll roll the first half, aka the first 19, on my garden, and while I'm rolling these dice, I'm going to be tallying up how many rolls each dice takes. So by the end of things, there should be a clear victor in terms of whose island / garden is quote-unquote luckier. But with that out of the way, it's time to get started. Alright, so we're currently 5, 6, you get the point, rolls into the first dice on my island, and again, I really just hope that I can beat Fugi, simply because I think I'm about as petty as he is, and this rivalry that I've created simply superficially is one that I would like to dominate, so it's not looking good to start. And also, I have to give back these 2 billion coins, so I really hope I don't go too far into these borrowed monies. I don't know. Okay, it's not looking like I'm going to be winning. Or maybe it is, who knows. But if you currently have me on your second monitor, I just want to tell you, because you probably aren't paying all that much attention, and that's fair. But at the end of every 6, or when I do get a 6, in the top right corner of this video, you'll see how many rolls it took for that dice to get a 6. And that'll be important later because, you know, you're not going to be able to tally it up. At least, I don't think you're that good at mathematics off the top of your head. But once it's all said and done, I'm going to add up all the rolls and then, you know, divide them by 19, and that'll be our average. Now, I do want to remind you that it is a 1 in 16 chance, but that obviously was a little luckier than the average. I would certainly not mind more of that, but okay, I'm not scripting that. I'm just saying. I really wish there was some sort of soft pity within these high-class dice where it can't go on any longer than like 32 consecutive rolls. Though it looks like we won't be needing that pity. But yeah, I mean, if they can do it for Vanguards, surely they can do it for dice. Like, those two things are definitely the exact same system. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just saying that last dice was dice number 67, and I got a 6 and 7 rolls. I'm not making that up, man. Honestly, as we go through these dice, the reality is settling in that I might actually not get a single 7 throughout these 100 dice, which I'm honestly just flabbergasted by that, because that is on average, what, 1,600 rolls without one 166 roll? Actually, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound that unlikely. Like, it's pretty unlucky, but not crazy unlucky. So, I don't know, maybe I should have done this during a 3x. Though if I'm being real, you probably won't see me around any high-class Archfiend dice after this video anytime soon. I'm gonna need a long time without any of these dice in sight. I really wish there was something in the API that tracked how many coins you've wagered through high classes and how many 6s you've gotten, because I feel like I'd be pretty high up on that leaderboard at this point, but unfortunately we do not live in a perfect world, and that does not exist. So, I don't know. I think I've documented a good amount, at the very least. I still have much more to document because I still have 30 dice to go. So, let's just hope that it continues to treat me the way it's been treating me for like the last 5 dice. Anyways, we're already halfway through, at least when it comes to my batch, and I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we did have a couple that were pretty lengthy, but I mean, we've also had our fair share of luck throughout these. So again, I'm just hoping that I don't jinx myself and we can continue with these last, I don't know, 7 or 8 dice without much error, or I don't know. Okay, there we go, that's good. But yeah, when it comes to these high class, I would just rather die by a million cuts than have my large intestine ripped out like it's a never-ending handkerchief by a magician, man. And what I mean by that is, I'd rather lose 14 or 20 mil every dice than having these stints where I lose 100 or 200 mil every couple dice, because the feeling that stems from that occurring is just awful. There's no other way to put it. But, I mean, again, I don't want to jinx myself, but so far, we have minimized those long streaks, and I think I'm actively jinxing myself right now. I mean, Dr. House, he doesn't believe in coincidences, but I'm just saying that's awfully coincidental. And I know it may seem funny that I'm talking about these virtual coins like they actually matter, but I would argue that it actually does matter for reasons that you'll... Okay, can I get my sentence off? For reasons that you'll become aware of in the coming weeks. Not to mention, this is borrowed money, even if it's virtual money, so I should bring it back if, you know, I have morals, which I do. Not to mention, I burnt all of the contraband. Oh my god. I burnt all of the contraband that I got on dice from that generous fellow at the start of the video. His name was Areem. He had a formal Cookie Monster skin, I remember that much. Like, seriously, he was the entire reason I could make this video, because otherwise there was no way I was going to be able to scrape together another 4 billion coins. And the funny part is, I hadn't even gotten any significant contraband in like a year up until now. And also, that was the last dice. I've just been talking my keister off. I didn't even realize, but yeah, that was the last dice. That is that I'll be doing on this island, because it's time to move over to Fugi's island. But before I do that, let me go calculate the average from my garden. Alright, I just crunched the numbers, and it looks like the Under the Bush strat warrants a 6 every 12.73 rolls, which compared to the average rate of 1 in 16, that's pretty lucky, especially with such a high sample size. So it's safe to say that Fugi has his work cut out for him. Speaking of Fugi, it's finally time to head over to his island. Please tell me he accepts visitors. Awesome, he does. Oh my god, it's dark. But yeah, Fugi, his island is a complete recreation of the Crystal Hollows, which I think is pretty cool. Specifically the Crystal Nucleus. I don't think he really has done much beyond this point. Yeah, okay, keep your secrets, Fugi. It is kind of dim, but you know what? I kind of like it. So without further ado, let's get started. And I just want to preface things by saying I might... Why is it in the floor? Okay, you know what? Fugi, this might actually be a good battle. But again, as long as I don't get interrupted, what I was trying to say is, oh god, what do I want to say? I wanted to say that I may or may not have made a miscalculation in my calculations regarding the amount of dice that I need, so I may have to actually roll an additional high-class dice after I'm done with these 19 to get to 100. Thank god I said that all in time. But with that out of the way, I just want to mention, I think it's going to be really, really difficult to beat an average of 12.7 rolls across 19 dice. And, you know, I'm not trying to... I would actually like to be right, because that would be good both for my purse and both for, you know, the interestingness of this video. So, who knows? Now, you may be wondering, why is Fugi's island a recreation of the Crystal Nucleus? Well, actually, for some Fugi lore, basically he did a lot of runs, and he also happened to get a lot of alloys, but not a lot of jade dyes. And if my memory serves me right, I don't think he got a single jade dye until after the RNG meter was introduced and you could, you know, meter a jade dye. So that was pretty funny, in my opinion. I used to ridicule him all the time. But now he gets to ridicule me because I still won't do class average 50, even though he took advantage of aura and her 50% skill XP boost on all that, and he actually, you know, got off his ass and did class average 50. And I think now he's actually like one of the top Skyblock XP guys on the leaderboard, so that's pretty cool, you know. I'm a day one Fugi supporter, so basically I deserve at least half of his net worth for being a day one. So yeah, I mean, now Fugi has absolutely nothing to do in the game. Meanwhile, I still have a bunch of content that I'll probably never get to doing, so who really won? I'm not quite sure about that answer, but you know what? I also am not quite sure about the answer regarding whether or not I'm gonna win this, because of that. Like, oh my god. Now, I'm not even gonna try to think of jinxing things, so I will just say there's still a lot of dice to be rolled. So, you know, he's not done with this comeback yet. But I will say I'm a little concerned because he's certainly had a very good first half. I fear I've already jinxed it though, so I'm sorry, Fugi, that's on me. Or not, I don't know. That was still pretty solid. Okay, I was kind of lying, 21 rolls is not pretty solid, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, you know what, I've been saying I'm trying not to jinx things, but I think I'm jinxing things just by talking, so I'm just gonna not talk for the remainder of this dice. Okay, 18 rolls isn't too hot either. Okay. One roll that is pretty hot in my opinion, but listen, can he keep up this hot streak? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And so far, it looks like I'm right. So, you better prove me wrong. You better prove me wrong. It definitely doesn't benefit me to be proven wrong in this instance because I also gain money because I'm the one rolling the dice. Hey, that kind of worked. 17 rolls, you know, that's not actually too bad, but you know what is too bad? I think I did actually make an error, which is so annoying because I'm just editing the video as I'm also recording. So after this clip, I'm just gonna go into DaVinci Resolve and edit this clip. So again, I don't know what could have possibly gone wrong. I had everything perfectly planned out. How could I possibly be one dice short? That's so weird. Well, regardless, it's safe to say that, you know, the dice we have remaining are winding down. So before we're done with all 100, I just want to start by saying, if you're interested in starting the Skyblock Sillies series, I will say it is very, very good second monitor content. So if you're farming or something, feel free to watch it. And as much as I hate to say it, it is probably in your best interest to start around V20, as the episodes before that, I just gotta say, they're not very good. It was when I was just getting started out with YouTube. I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I didn't have a pop filter. My microphone was like 3 feet away from me for literally no reason, and it never crossed my mind that that might not be the best for getting good audio quality. It was just a big mess, but you know, it was authentic, so maybe if you like authenticity and just watching the whole thing through, consider watching it. But again, I'd suggest starting at around V20. But anyways, this is the last dice, at least for Fugi's sake. Wow, what a great ending for Fugi, man. And with that, I think it's time to tally things up. Wow, this is gonna be close. No way. Did he really beat me? No, there's no way. I think he beat me. It's not even close, too. On Fugi's Island, I got a 6 every 10.78 rolls. That's somehow even better than mine. Damn. Hey, you know what? At least I profited 1 bill in the last 50 dice. We'll take that. That's not including the price of the dice, though. Actually, you know what? We do have 1 left to do. So, you know, let's just get it done right now. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I mean, it would be painfully average, knowing my luck. But we'll just have to wait and see. But, you know, while I still have the ability to talk, I will just say thank you for watching this entire thing. I mean, that's kind of cray-cray. I just said cray-cray in 2026. Fuck me. But yeah, again, if you're not subscribed by this point, I don't even know what you're doing, man. But regardless, I had a ton of fun making this video. Not really, actually. This video was hell to make. But it feels really good to be done with it. So at least there's that. As of recording, you know, I'm about halfway to YouTube rank. So maybe by V200, we'll finally have that red name. Who knows? But regardless, whether this is your first video watching me or 100th, thank you for sticking around. I hope I can attempt to entertain by burning billions of coins on gambling well into the future. But with that, have a good rest of your day, night, or evening, whatever time it may be for you, and I'll see you guys later.